3, 2, 1. Sam Jurletic, welcome to the podcast.
Well done, got that last name.
Hey, how's the pronunciation?
Pretty spot on. Don't usually say that to Australians, but
True.
it's pretty phonetically spelt, but spot on.
I'm big on names. I always try and learn people's names and make sure I can pronounce them properly. I play around with it because I'm lucky to meet people from all different walks of life, Germany, Asia, Middle East, and I always learn and ask for their full name. They're like, what? You want to have a go? I'm like, yeah.
And you're not just a regular Australian as well, so kind of used to different names and got it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for dropping in, Dan.
No
I
worries,
appreciate
thanks
this.
for having me.
My favorite part about this is before we jumped on air, both you and I were downstairs in the gym pumping out some weight, man.
Did you get that pump on? Get on camera.
Both of us have our calves covered. I'm wearing trackies, you're wearing pants. It's a shame, man.
Mine are busting out of my pants, so it's I've been working hard on these for about 4 weeks now. I've put on a centimetre of circumference, so I'm pretty proud about these ones. But
It's nuts how many calf raises and calf extensions and things I've seen.
it is a struggle to walk, so.
How's your week?
Week has been good. I actually had a week off ZAR. I was meant to do some travel, meant to head down to Sydney, but decided to stay a bit more local. Went to Byron Bay, had a surf, and went down the sunny coast as well, just to kind of mix things up a little bit and keep things interesting. So I did manage to train though. Stopped by just a regular chain gym and got my lifts in.
Yeah.
Can't miss them, but definitely nothing like home, like ZAR.
Yeah.
So not too bad. Good week.
Yeah. Good week, man. Good recovery week. And thank you for getting the lifts in. The
No
videos
worries.
came in handy when we were doing the program. We're like, sweet. Yeah, squat's looking good, bench.
Definitely good to see. You got to stay on top of that. I was happy with my squats, and then, as I said before, the deadlift just looked a bit messy. It was hard to really gauge how I was feeling without looking at the videos. So it's definitely beneficial to get those videos across to you. We can look at them together and see exactly what was happening there.
I like it. It's a good tool for interstate, international holidays. When over the break, I was doing the same thing. Commercial chain gym, spaghetti barbells, flexing and bending and whipping me around. I'm like, oh man, this feels nothing like home, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah,
and
I'm happy to blame the bar.
I like the challenge as well. I'm like, all right, different setup. All right, let's see what it's like. And the whole body's just looking like that time you did those crazy overloads. That's what I feel like with the thing just bouncing around.
For sure.
I'm going to use this opportunity to drop in the Vivo Barefoot. The boys are going to help me cut this up. We'll spam it.
Sounds good.
You were part of the reason why I got onto these. We have no affiliation or sponsorship with Vivo Barefoot right now.
Yeah.
But before I got mine, I've seen dudes in America rocking them, mostly YouTube and Instagram, and dudes that I like to follow and learn from.
Yeah.
And then I saw you wearing them in the gym. I was like, wait a minute. I recognized the logo and the weird shoe design.
They're an amazing shoe.
What's the story?
A little bit of a backstory is I injured my spine about 7 years ago. Just ruined it. Didn't really think I'd be able to run or lift weights or do anything again. And just went down this huge, long road of self-healing and recovery. And I just started from the ground up. So I started with what was on my feet. So the shoes I wore, if there was a heel, if there was different cambers or angles within the shoe, it can affect the rest of your body. So I actually spent a lot of time learning and just figuring out what works, what will help heal my body. So I actually started straight from the shoe. So initially I started on Merrell Barefoots and then eventually transitioned into the Vivo Barefoot. So I've been on Vivo stuff for about 6 years now. Absolutely love them. They're just a minimal shoe. They're not the 5-finger shoes like the toes. Super comfortable, zero drop, just really nice minimal shoes. Perfect for deadlifting, good for squatting in if you do have the range and mobility. And I swear by them. I've got 11 pairs now. So a few too many shoes. They're good.
Yeah, fascinating story. I remember when you and I first met, you shared everything to do with the injury and stuff. And I'm looking forward to getting into some of that stuff. But with the Vivo Barefoots, how good are they?
They're very good. They're so nice. I'm a pilot, so that's my profession. So I spend a lot of time traveling around. Yeah. It's little suitcases, and these shoes literally roll up, stuff them in your bag, and you can take a different kind of pair each time, and they just suit different kind of events. So they're good. I do love them.
We can literally just roll them up, put a rubber band on them, and they just
pretty much
unfold them.
So they're good.
I'm with you, man. When we started chatting, I was like, that's it. I'm getting a pair, and I haven't gone back to any other shoe. Every now and then, I'll have some other dress or fancy Nikes or something, and I put them on, and it feels like crap.
Yeah.
Everything just feels...
Nothing's the same. It's that heel. And I think what have we got, like 10 people in the gym now rocking
Yeah,
Vivos?
yeah.
Should have got a discount code for myself.
It's just snowballed, man. This is not our mission today. It's not our objective. But if it happens, we're going to be the happiest dudes in Newstead.
That sounds good.
Where you at, Vivo Barefoot? It's fascinating because our community just sees us wearing them, and they're like, "What's that?" And we're like, "Well, this is the story."
They do look a little bit different, but they're not too weird and crazy that you just can't wear them and they don't look funny. So
I actually like maybe it's a small calf guy thing, but I don't know. But I like how slim and small they are. Yeah. It just like everything's just it looks all right.
Yeah. So they definitely helped my journey. So
yeah,
from the ground up.
Do you mind sharing the full story with the injury, man? What happened? I know it was wakeboarding.
Wakeboarding. I was up in Cairns. I've been wakeboarding for a long time, so I was sponsored by a couple of companies, and I'm pretty confident riding. I've done many tricks, upside down, handle passes, all sorts of things. And just this one day in Cairns, just did this trick, which is you have to get quite a bit of height to finish the entire trick. So it's a front flip of a backside 360 whilst you're upside down. So you do get kicked quite high into the air. I've landed probably a little bit too straight-legged, and all the weight's gone down my spine. And L4, L5, S1, just down the bottom, all got compressed and pushed out the back. This fibrosis tore, and instantly just felt pain, just like numb down the sides of my legs. It was like a bit of a mess. But I was still able to function quite well. So no one would operate, no one would do surgery on it. Everyone said, you're too fine, like there's no point. You're gonna have to take care of this yourself. And no one could actually do anything. So it kind of came down to me and me trying to fix it alone. And this is where this journey started, from working out how my feet work and the type of shoes that I wear, how my knees track when I'm just picking up a pillow or doing a squat, all the way up to my shoulder, how I sit. And all of it I've just connected together, and basically over a long period of time I've healed myself, all with a lot of diet, how the body moves. I've had some amazing strength coaches over the year just getting me back up to shape. And when I started, I could barely lift a broomstick. Like, it was a struggle to deadlift a broomstick, and now I'm on 168 kilo deadlift, and it's come a long way. Like, there's no issue, there's no aches, pains, it just works well. And I'm gunning for about 200 kilo deadlift, so hopefully in the not too far future, we'll be hitting that one. So, long road, but got through it.
Long road.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, if I didn't know any better, if I didn't know your story, and if I just saw you lifting in the gym, I would never in a million years think that you had,
a lot of hard work went
right?
into it. Just a lot of hours of reading. I went down just rabbit holes of books and just finding different doctors online and just chatting to people and just working how things work. And it wasn't an overnight fix. So I know a lot of people around, a few people in the gym have had little issues. You can't just expect overnight, that's it, I'll be deadlifting and doing this again. Like, it was a long process. There was a lot of pain, there's a lot of tears. I was wondering, is this ever going to fix itself? And eventually it does. You just have to put the work in. It is a lot of hard work, and you've got to want it. So.
You've got to want it, and it's a long journey. Yeah. They didn't want to operate. They're saying...
It could make things worse. Like, obviously, there's a lot of nerves in your spine. Like, everything's connected to it. If they nick something, if they talk about joining the vertebrae or discs, like stopping from moving, you can really stop mobility in the spine, and you'll be even more limited with movement and things that you can actually do. So I did really want to avoid it and try and sort everything out as naturally as I can. And eventually it has. Like, it has come back into place. I've had x-rays and MRIs since, and everything's kind of shifted back where it should be. So
fascinating how it's amazing, man. It's fascinating how the body responds to the right stimulus, the right discipline, the right habits, the right load. Good retraining, good strength coaches. What were you feeling in the moment? Why were you seeking their advice? And like the last, not like initially, but like the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, was it like, how debilitating was it, bro?
It was just disappointing. I couldn't do what I loved. I couldn't run. I couldn't wakeboard again. Like, surfing just felt like it was never going to happen. So I was just literally able to walk and sit and move around, and that was it. And like, always felt great doing exercise and being strong, and I got so much pleasure from doing all those activities, and that was taken away from me. and I wanted it back. Like, I'm not just going to spend my life sitting around just doing nothing. Like, I'm going to put in as much effort as I can. So I really just went out and just found out every bit of information I could just to try and make things better. So as I said, from the ground up, from different supplements that help with inflammation, rehydration, light therapy, there's all sorts of things, just tying it in and just doing everything. I did a lot. Like, it was probably too much at some points, and the burden of having and attempting to do everything can be a stressor in itself, which is something I've been learning to manage. Like, you can't do absolutely everything, but I was just hungry to fix it, and that's what I was doing.
So the key drive was, I want to get back to optimal function.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much that you were, or was it the pain that was limiting you, or was it just like doctors saying you can't run, you'll never be able to do this, or what?
It was just all internal drive. Like, the pain didn't bother me. I never wanted to make things worse, so I was cautious about what I did. Like, I didn't want to go wakeboarding and make it even worse. But I just had the drive to just get back to doing what I love. It didn't matter what doctors told me. I didn't want to prove anyone else wrong. I just needed to do it for myself. So that was purely the only driving factor. It's just I wanted it all back, and that's what I worked hard to. And I've actually come out stronger, and I've learned so much more since I've done this. So it's hard to see why things happen, but there is a reason why something does happen, and usually you come out stronger and better because of it. So same with this COVID situation at the moment, or come out better on top at the end of it. So chance to grow and learn.
I think so too, man. I think individually we'll all come out stronger after this whole COVID thing, if there is an after COVID thing, or managing COVID, whatever you want to call it. But I think, that old saying of what doesn't break us makes us stronger.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's true.
Yeah. You know what also makes us stronger?
Tell me, bro. What?
Tequila. I thought I'd bring a bit of a treat for you today. I am a bit of an avid collector of tequila, backed off a little bit since it is very hard to find in Australia, but over the years I have collected a handful of bottles. I'm also a huge whiskey fan. I've always had many bottles of really nice, kind of rare whiskey, but tequila is definitely a big passion for me. So I've got 3 bottles with me today. One bottle, the story behind that is actually it took me about 6 years to find it. I looked everywhere. Like, I've been living in Tokyo, Japan for the last 4 years, couldn't find it in Tokyo. I've been to Hong Kong, Singapore, all over the place, looking through Europe, looking for this bottle, and I haven't been able to find it. And then randomly when I was in LA, walking past the bottle shop, I wanted to go buy some chewing gum. Walked in there to buy chewing gum, looked at the shelf, and there's this bottle sitting there. So I actually grabbed 2 of them and just ran. Just bought 2 of them and just left. And it's the most phenomenal tequila I've ever had. It's just straight up sipping tequila. You don't have any ice of it. It's just literally sip on it. So absolutely beautiful bottle.
That's unreal, man.
It's this one here. So Casa Dragonis. It's a sipping tequila.
Casa Dragonis. Sipping tequila.
Sipping tequila.
What does that actually mean?
You sip on it.
Wow.
So most Australians think with cheaper tequila that you just shot it, get it down as quick as you can, have it with salt and lime or lemon.
The crap that we have in clubs. That's what
is just as smooth as water. It's just so easy to drink. So I figured that's the first one we can start with. I'm
super keen, man. This thing looks really good. Casa Dragonis. It is a beautiful logo.
About $400 to $500 a bottle.
Man, there's this looks handwritten.
They're handwritten. They're limited, small batch. It actually comes in this huge, giant blue box with all handwritten papers and numbers and the story behind it. But couldn't fit that into my bag as well today. Had to make room for some other bottles of tequila. So if you're happy, we'll have a bit of this each.
Absolutely, man. I'll
I'll
let you pour it. Thank you, brother. That's amazing. I feel super lucky. I've never had fancy tequila ever. The only stuff I've had is what you've described as salt, lemon. Usually got a bad hangover the next day.
Do my best not to spill any on camera. It'll be devastating.
Just out of curiosity, can we get it in Australia?
No, I've never seen it anywhere outside of where I was in LA, actually.
Thank you so much, bro.
Cheers,
Cheers.
Good.
But it tastes nice, as.
Yeah, it's got still a bit of a touch of tequila to it. Obviously, it is from tequila, and it's just so much smoother than any others. Though, got different hints of fruit and all sorts of stuff in it.
It actually tastes really nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Goes down easily, a bit too easily. I do have a bit of a collection though. So
Yeah.
if you want, we can get some out now.
Let's get him out, man. This
We'll
is
get
going to
them
be
all
a
out.
really fun podcast.
This is another beautiful bottle. This is the Class Azul. This is a Reposado. They do come in Anejo, which
Say
is
the name again, sorry. Class
Class Azul.
Azul.
Yeah. This one's quite readily available in Australia. You can find it around. It does come in Anejo as well, which is a slightly more aged than Reposado. Also, you can sip on this one as well. It's not quite as smooth, but it's pretty good. So that's the next one we'll be getting involved with. Then there's another one that I wanted to try. Never actually had it. I think this might be closer to the typical like salt and lime version, but we'll stick it out as well.
What's a run-of-the-mill salt and lime? Like, is Patron a little bit better than the salt, or no? I know the one with the little hat.
Better.
Yeah.
The one with the hat's definitely not a sipping tequila.
That's the
shiny
danger.
one. You sip it out of the hat.
Oh, right. Is that what the hat's
That's
for?
what the hat's
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then, like, the one with the scorpion.
Scorpion's not too bad. I think the scorpion one's usually a mezcal, which is different to tequila. It comes from a different area and not necessarily made out of blue agave.
Okay.
Like tequila has to be from a certain region and from blue agave. Otherwise, it has to be called something different.
Okay. Blue agave is where it's from? That's the region?
No, that's the ingredient in it. That's the plant that they make it from. Mezcal can be made from different types of like cacti and different other plants, whereas tequila has to be made from blue agave and can only come from, I think it's pronounced Jalisco, from that region.
Okay.
And anything outside of that in Mexico can be called mezcal, but not tequila.
Aha. They do that to control the quality, or like keep it as a purist
It'll
thing?
probably be a quality thing, and also I think they just have their rights of where it comes from. So, like I think bourbon can only come from certain regions in the US, like it can't come from anywhere else, and same with Canadian whiskies from Canada, etc. It's very specific to the region.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed lots of different whiskies, but never tequila.
This one's pretty close to a whiskey. It has got a bit of smokiness to it, and you can sip it like a whiskey.
Sorry, tell me about that one.
I've actually never had this one.
Okay.
I picked it up the other day. Thought we'll give it a go.
Yeah, sounds good.
I've got a feeling it's not going to be as smooth as the others, though.
Okay.
And you bought something for us today as well, did you?
I have, man. So what you do with tequila, I do with rakia.
There you go.
You have had some rakia before?
I had it on the Christmas party that we had.
Oh, yeah, at the ZAR Christmas party. Was that your first ever
It was
rakia?
the first time. I have not had it since.
It's an honor, bro. I'm honored. You haven't had it since? It is, we had a different type at the Christmas party. The rakia that we had is called manastir at the Christmas party, which is a beautiful rakia that's locally sourced, but it's imported from Serbia.
Okay.
Rakia, like tequila, is somewhat hard to get depending on the caliber of the rakia. But Dan Murphy's, which is now,
it's on Chester Street.
Yeah,
It's the
one's
street
just
that I live on.
popped up just across the road from the gym. But so Dan Murphy's will have some, but you've got to dig a bit deeper. Yeah. So the rakia that we're enjoying today is a different one. It's called Kraljica, which means queen. The one that we had at the Christmas party is manastir, which means monastery. So it's
This is a level up then, a bit smoother than the Christmas party.
Let's see what you say. I love all sorts of different rakia. So what? Yeah, but I think this one is one of the best tasting ones that I've been able to source in Brisbane.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it then.
Should we drop it?
Yeah, get it on the table.
Yeah,
We'll
amongst all this
alcoholics
tequila.
over here.
So, rakia you can make from different fruits. I think one of the OG ones was Slivovica, which is from plums. So it's plum brandy.
Yep.
Which is when I talk to lots of different friends, that's the one they know as Slivovic, is how you'd say it in English.
Excellent.
But it's that whole region, man, where our heritage is from, Serbia and Croatia and that eastern bloc.
Yeah.
That's like the Serbian tequila. So we can definitely enjoy some of that later.
Excellent. Very good.
See what you think compared to the Christmas party.
For sure. This one just goes down so easily.
It is the best tasting tequila.
So this is this last half of my second bottle. So I already drank 1.5 bottles out of that now. But
one of us better go to LA and source
Get over
some
there
more.
soon.
I'm gonna remember that, man. Next time I'm in America, I'm gonna go
Dig it
shopping
out.
for sure.
I think it's the best one I've had, and I've had a lot of different varieties. So.
I love how we're a health and wellness and fitness and training podcast. Sam comes
There's a
in.
bit of de-stress as well, though. You gotta
It's
look
tequila
after.
time. Heck yeah, man. I'm all for it. I'm all for de-stressing. One of the things that we spend a lot of time chatting about on the gym floor, man, is different human optimization. And I know, we've started chatting about the shoes, but we've got, both you and I have got Whoops, and I know you've had an Aura ring and other things. What's your take on the Whoop?
I love all the devices, within reason. Like,
For viewers, that's the Whoops.
the Whoop is good. I love the Aura ring as well. That's what I had for a long time. All this tied back into my spine. Like, I just wanted to optimize recovery. I just wanted to see exactly what my sleep was doing, areas that I can improve on. And when I first started wearing the Aura ring, I could see massive holes in my sleep quality. Like, I wasn't getting REM sleep, which is the rapid eye movement deep sleep, which is very important for recovery. Same with deep sleep as well. All of those were a little bit low. I was waking up a few times, and at the time I was taking a couple of different supplements which actually can affect quality of sleep. Like, they're really good supplements to take, but it's usually better to take them a little bit earlier in the day. So since I had the Aura ring, I could see the impact some things were having, and I shifted them around and actually started to experiment, and I could see things changing and improving. So I really started to dig into it a bit more and shift things around, add magnesium at different times. I'd remove my glutamine and have that early in the day. I could see different things like rhodiola that would affect my sleep and other things like that. So I really loved the Aura. And then as you get into the Whoop, this can start tying in actual strain. So from the day, like for the workouts we do downstairs, you can start tying that in, and that actually impacts your sleep, and you can see your strain and recovery scores. So overall, it's a really good tool to help analyze and experiment with your training and recovery. Sometimes I don't quite believe everything it's telling me. Sometimes I'll have great results and I'll be feeling a little bit off that day. So you still have to go from your gut feeling and how you're thinking, but it's a good way just to have a look and see what's happening. Obviously, we're on a group chat now with a couple other friends, which does help push you. Like, I'll be sitting at home, I'll check the app, I'll see, hey, I'm like 5-minute walk from beating some of the other guys. I'll just get up, get off the couch, go for a walk, and I'm in the lead again. So like, it does encourage you to get up and be a little bit more active, especially as you're adding that little bit of competition. So I really do enjoy it for that. At the same time, these devices, they can rule your life a little bit if you start putting too much weight on. If you start to rely on them too much, and if I just wake up first thing in the morning and see I've had a bad score, if I let that ruin my day, well, that defeats the purpose. So you do have to detach a little bit. Don't get too emotional about any of it. Every now and then I will have a detox, just remove it all and just get on with my life. But it is a fun hobby and a great way to experiment and see your training and recovery.
I'm currently working on that detachment phase as well, of like, all right, when I see the red or when I see 24% recovery, if I know that I can't fit in training anywhere else in the week, it's got to be done. Otherwise, I'll just miss out. I can't always wait for it to be in the green or 80 or 90% recovery. I agree, bro. Great hobby. It helps keep me accountable. Prior to getting the Whoop, I wasn't as aware and as in control of my recovery and my sleep and what was going on, whereas now it's like, I'll check in, I'll open the app, and I'm like, oh, at least I've got this thing constantly monitoring the heart rate and the recovery.
The main thing is that sleep. Is just no one quite knows what their sleep is on. Like, if you're getting enough hours, what time are you going to bed, what time are you waking up? And I know we have a few shift workers in the gym and a few people dealing with stressful jobs and all sorts of things, and you don't quite realize how bad your sleep is until you see it in actual hard form, and you can see the numbers, and then you can think, well, I should actually be doing something about this. So it's a great device for that. So I do love them.
Things that I've done to help work on it, and I've noticed an instant improvement straight away. Not having a late dinner. If I have a late dinner, my sleep quality just goes doof. And it's fascinating just tracking it. Like, I know I didn't get my meal in early enough, so I had it at 9 o'clock, and you just watch the sleep quality drop. Or alcohol.
Alcohol's a big one.
We've talked about that a lot when we enjoy a few whiskeys or some some drinks.
You have it a little bit early in the day. Like it's a suitable time now to have some tequila. I won't say what time it is.
Yeah,
but,
we're definitely day drinking. Yeah,
but you can burn through that alcohol a little bit quicker. So perhaps by the time we do get into bed, some of it is out of our system. So we will have a better sleep. It won't interrupt the quality. So there's that as well.
Amazing how that fits into our conversation. We're winning because we're getting it in early.
Start having it for breakfast.
we joke about it, but it's a small thing. It makes a big difference. Or at least now I know when I'm out socializing, I'll just start wrapping up the amount of drinks that I have sooner, and then maybe it might be.
Alcohol's a tough one because it's just so widely accepted by society. Like everyone drinks a little bit too much. You don't quite realize how big of an impact that has on your sleep. I know no one really wants to hear that, but it does. So, for me, something that really impacts sleep is actually temperature. So a few years ago, I bought a chili pad, which is a cooling topper that goes on your mattress that you actually sleep on. It has a little box beside the bed, and it has a hose which joins in, all really nice and neat. It has little veins that run through this pad. You actually set the temperature of the area that I sleep in. So I actually set it to about 17 degrees. So all summer I can sleep with a big thick doona, a weighted blanket, so I feel really comfortable and secure. But the inside of my bed is set to about 17 degrees, so I'm just chilled, and that really improves. Whereas if you're just too hot and sweating, you'll toss, turn, kick the blankets off. So I will see a big improvement in my sleep numbers from a chili pad. So something that I do really love to have.
The thing's called a chili pad.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into them. Yeah. You've mentioned it to me before. I haven't got one yet. But it would make sense, right? Where in Queensland, it's hot as summer. It's hot most of the year.
Yeah. Get that temperature down. And you can save on air conditioning. You don't have to have aircon on.
True.
And you can just have your bed in this little cocoon set to whatever, 14 to anything higher that you like. So.
I've noticed that even without the whoop, like the heat, right? It just makes it, you're tossing and turning the whole night. You're not comfortable. Next thing you know, your disturbances are up through the roof.
Yeah. There's plenty you can do. Do some research, improve your sleep, improve your recovery, and it all affects your gym performance as well.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to say I did bring my bag of a few goodies here, and there's one little device I thought I'd bring, do a bit of show and tell, which actually does help my sleep and recovery a bit more.
Okay.
I have a little travel version of it, but I've got a full-size version as well. So that's an infrared light system. So the little
you have
one that
a
I have
travel
in my bag,
infrared light?
I do have a travel one. So as I said,
Let's do it, brother.
as I said before, I am a pilot, so I do travel around a fair bit, and you've got different time zones and the stress of flying and everything. So this little device comes in this little bag, and it's got a little on switch over here, which I've got turned off. You probably won't be able to see it in this lighting.
Oh yeah, I can.
You can hear it just buzzing. So infrared can be pretty much invisible to the eye, but it is on. So you can hold this little device up to your face. Generally, I hold it near my testicles because it actually can improve testosterone and all sorts of other things. So I do have a full life-size one. It's about as wide as my shoulders, a bit wider, as high as I am tall, and it has both near and just regular infrared, which is really quite bright lighting. And you stand in front of this 10-15 minutes or put this wherever you need to hold it, and it will improve recovery. Actually helps with my sleep and all sorts of things. So this is something that I've had for probably about 4 years now. I've had the big one for about 3 years, and definitely swear by it. I've had some really good results from this. So you can hear it buzzing in your microphone there.
I can hear it, yeah. I can actually see the lights from the side, but you can see it.
Because it's only near infrared, as I said, it's invisible, basically, to really see. So you'd usually hold it up about 6 inches. It really helps with eyesight and skin, so it targets cells and things in the body.
So say you're trying to recover
anything. So it can actually heal. Yeah, so you basically hold it under your hamstring within about 6 inches.
Yeah. And
for the timer's on for about 10 minutes, and you can just shift it around different areas that you want to do it. It targets mitochondria. It can really help with energy and ATP, efficiency of how it burns. Does all sorts of things. Heals skin, improves hormones. It does a lot of different things. So this travel one's a little bit more awkward to use, and as I said, it is for travel. And the full body one it's straight up. You stand in front of it, and it fully lights up.
And it's quite handy. Like say you were trying to put it around your face. It's not that hard. You just sit it on something.
Yeah.
While you're reading a book, you could.
So if I'm starting to get a sore throat, I'll just hold it under my throat.
Oh wow!
It can
Even
actually
for
help
sore
with
throat.
some things like that.
Yep.
Helps with eyesight, as I said, hormones, all sorts of things. So something I do every single day. Just stand in front of my Juve.
Okay. How long do you do it for every single day?
Quite often I'll do it 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening.
10 minutes morning, 10 minutes evening.
Usually, yeah. So give or take, whatever you got time for.
Is this the off button?
Yeah, there is a little bright light, so I have it taped up.
What's the battery like on it?
Last week's about me charging it, so it lasts a long time.
Next level.
Love my next level gadgets, but all sorts of funny tools and things I enjoy playing with.
I know Peter mentioned he's seen the...
Yeah.
He was telling me all about it. He's like, bro, it's sick. Like, you stand in front of it. Like,
yeah.
It's,
you have to stop by sometime, check it out. It's
man,
cool.
I'm keen. I love things like this, man. I could
Yeah.
talk about this stuff all day. What I know you're saying it's helped you a lot. What has it helped with, and what have you noticed? And how are you, like, do you have a way of tracking it, or is it just like you feel it?
I have... The first reason I got it for because I wanted to play around with testosterone, and I wanted to see testosterone levels change or the impact that it has. So I have had pre and post blood tests on that, but testosterone can be a bit tricky to test. And Australia is also really difficult as well. It's pretty hard to really get those numbers looked at properly by a doctor. Recovery's definitely helped. I don't really seem to feel DOMS anymore. I delayed on muscle fatigue. Thank you. And I just don't really feel as sore after workouts anymore. And I really account that to the Juve light. So
Wow.
It just seems to prevent a lot of that from happening. But lots of male hormone response as well. Like I definitely feel stronger, more confident, all sorts of things like that around testosterone increasing. So,
Okay.
for me, that's predominantly what I've had. There's so many things that it does do, and when
that's pretty strong in itself. Sorry to cut you off, Sam. That's pretty badass. If you're feeling stronger, like confident, testosterone's increasing.
Yeah. So that's predominantly what I got it for. And then when you're standing in front of the whole thing, it's working all sorts of different aspects as well. So there's plenty of things that I'm probably not quite aware that it is doing, but as long as I'm standing in front of it, it's doing something. And there's a lot of proven studies that say the thing is working.
Any side effects?
No side effects. I think you can stand in front of it for as long as you want, but you won't really gain any more results if you do more than 15, 20 minutes at a time. So It's just overkill. So as long as you're doing 10 to 20 minutes a day, that's fine. They have tested EMFs on it, and it's pretty low on EMFs as well. Like, it's not an issue or anything to be concerned about. So it's a pretty cool device.
Is the home one expensive?
Yes.
What are they average?
That little one there is probably about $500, and my big one's about $5,000.
Okay.
So it's kind of up there a little bit.
So the company's called Juve.
Juve, Joov. There's a few other
American
ones on
company?
the market. It is American. Not too sure where they're made, but they do ship them from the US. There are some local companies that do it as well, that are a little bit cheaper, but I think the Juve comes across as being one of the most well-researched, best-studied, the nicest device. It has a really decent full-size head to toe, where some of the other ones only go from like waist to head kind of thing. So the Juve seems to be the best one out there. Fun gadgets.
Man, it's fascinating.
It is
My
cool.
mind's just gone, I need one. I need one in my house right now.
They're pretty cool.
I know we've spoken about saunas and things as well. You were fortunate enough to have one at your place.
I was, yeah.
Before. I've heavily considered how can I get one in the gym, because the Dr. Rhonda Patrick that I follow heavy and read all this stuff and lots of different research that I've read support the sauna like 2 or 3 times a week.
It's good. I've read a lot as well, especially since after living in Japan, I got mercury poisoning. I ended up eating way too much sashimi, all sorts of just heavy red fish like tuna, and that's the type of fish that mercury really builds up in. I think I've just eaten way too much of that, and I'm on next levels. Like, I'm way past. So I had my blood tested done in the US a few years ago, and coincidentally mercury was tested. Didn't even ask for it, it was just on there. Results came back. Anything I think below level 4 is healthy and normal, and I'm on 21. So I'm absolutely through the roof. It affects so many things. It actually affects sleep as well. So it goes back to what we were discussing earlier with the aura and having good sleep. Mercury can dramatically like smash your sleep. Quality goes out. It just destroys your nervous system. My memory was going, concentration was going, and I was really seeing a lot of side effects. And I didn't realize where it was all coming from until the mercury comes up, and it was through the roof. So after doing a lot of reading, I found saunas really help. Like, you can start detoxing, sweating out a lot of those toxins. Those toxins are stuck in organs and in tissue quite deep, and you really have to sweat them out. It's a long, slow process. So 100% with you. Like, a sauna is invaluable. Like, just for everyday use, even if you don't have mercury poisoning, it's a really beneficial thing to put your time into. The new building that I'm currently living in now, unfortunately, doesn't have a sauna. I do occasionally head across to City Cave. There's a few City Caves around. They have a infrared heat sauna, so it's combined with an infrared light and the actual heat, so you're getting the benefits of the light and sweating as well.
I too have hit City Cave, and it's when I was consistently hitting their saunas, it was like the best I'd felt in a long time. My weeks just went.
You sleep well as well.
I'm going to use this opportunity to plug our community members, Matt and Taylor. The boys are in the process of opening up a City Cave right now.
Nice.
And it's all saunas.
Where are they opening that up?
In Kenmore.
Okay,
so
cool.
it's
Not too far.
Not too far from here, yeah. Just around Indooroopilly.
Yeah, no, I do love City Cave. It's a cool little company. Definitely try and support them.
Yeah. I had a membership at the time, and I was just checking in regularly. And I tried to be disciplined with it because, like everything else, if you want to get optimal benefits, I was trying to go in 2 to 3 times a week. And I noticed a huge improvement with my training. You're the second friend that I've had tell me about mercury poisoning, other than your story. I've only ever heard it one other time.
Someone in the gym?
No. It's a friend of mine from high school, and he started noticing funny things with his body. I can't remember now. It was a long time ago. I think it was discoloring of his skin or his eyes or something, or maybe something fascinating was going on with his body. Maybe even discoloring of his hands or something somewhere. And they investigated. The doctors investigated it for a long time. Nobody could figure it out for years. And then somehow he linked it. He had a test. Mercury through the roof, and he was trying to do bodybuilding at the time, so he was just living off, because he was trying to burn fat, put on muscle. He was young, didn't really know what he was doing. He was living off cans of tuna. He had
we all did that at some point.
Exactly. We've all done that at some point. Myself guilty. Broccoli and chicken 24/7. So he was having cans of tuna, like serious amounts every single day. I don't know, most days.
You got to mix that diet up.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know what he did, but this is really good advice of just sweat it out in a sauna, monitor it.
And he's recovered now?
Yeah. Once he found out what it was, he was like,
that's the thing. Like, you and I have spoken to about a little bit before, is you don't really know exactly what's wrong with you without testing things. It's something we all need to put a little bit more time into really getting to the bottom of, like, what is happening on the inside. So definitely a big advocate of monitoring and, like, looking at everything. Whilst we're chatting, I'm just going to pour a splash of this other bottle.
I can't wait, man. That first one was really nice.
This isn't going to be quite as smooth as the other one, but
just here with fancy lids.
So you can actually have a shot out of that one. But it's kind of like
these Mexicans, man. Yeah.
They're Mexican hats.
Mexican innovation. True, you could totally sip out of this.
You can. The first time I had it.
Actually, looks really nice.
So this one's a fair bit darker in colour. It's a little bit more rich.
They've branded this really well. Their logo's on the inside here. Yeah. Let's smash. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, Matt.
Thank you very much. Thanks for bringing all this amazing tequila in. The colour's different.
It's a little bit darker. You can do it with aging as well. So you start getting into the older tequilas like Añejo, you'll start getting more rich and darker colours. But
wow, completely different taste.
Yeah, it's a little bit smokier, a bit heavier.
More smoky.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Tastes nice.
It is good. It's going down easy.
I prefer the taste of this one.
We were discussing before we sat down now, but I think neither of us have really eaten today, and we both just trained as well. So this could go interesting. There's a chance we might not finish this podcast, but
you'll see us in a couple of hours. Sam and I will be passed out on these chairs. The boys will be going, wake up.
Some sombreros or something, to be honest. We'll just sat here with
sombrero. Oh, wow. Now let's do that next time. Sombreros. Dress up like Mexicans. This is so much fun, man.
Yeah.
What else you got in your bag of goodies? Human. Oh, actually, sorry. Before you do that, Sam, we're talking about testing things, right?
Yeah.
And I know that both you and I are passionate about getting hard numbers, getting data, and knowing where we stand. Like, we're obsessed with all sorts of things. I get DEXA scans done all the time. You've had a DEXA scan.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with my result, and it's kicked my butt into
You're
gear.
never quite happy with the result, unfortunately.
Yeah, it always kicks you the real deal. And this is what I love about measuring things. One of the many things is it keeps you accountable. You know where you're at, and then you can monitor and improve. Since my DEXA scan, I was like, right, I'm starting a fat loss experiment. Let's get this thing
How's that going for you?
Going really good, man. Arif was making fun of us because he's like, hey, what are you boys doing drinking tequila? I thought you're on the fat loss experiment. What's going on here? But it's actually gone really good. I'm getting the community involved. Since our chat, lots of community members have gone out and had a DEXA scan, and it's the first time ever some of them have ever measured body fat or muscle mass. So it's really good learning. At least they know where they're standing, and when they check in. I haven't put a time frame on it. I hate the idea of 4-week challenges or 6-week challenges. So go as long as you need. Check in later and get it measured. What have you had in the way of tests? I know you've outsourced some things to like internationally. And
before I get onto that quickly, I'll say that tequila is probably one of the lowest calorie drinks that you can consume. It is a clear alcohol, so it's one of the lower ones. Vodka, stuff like that.
It's less calories than vodka?
I think vodka would be a little bit less.
Okay.
Gin will be similar. Tequila is very similar. As you start getting into sugary drinks like rum and whiskey is usually pretty fine, but rum starts getting higher in calories. So if you are trying to reduce calories, tequila all the way.
Tequila
so we are
all
doing
the
our
way.
fat loss right here. So. But yeah,
that's it. I'm just drinking tequila from now.
As for testing, I've done a lot. It is a hobby. It has been a passion. Just been all from my spine story from before. It's just been a journey of just optimizing everything. I've done everything I can to fix my spine. Is what I'm doing actually right? Like, I'll overdose on magnesium and fish oil because all of those help rebuild your system. There's not enough magnesium in the soil, and our food and everything doesn't absorb it, and then we don't. So I supplement quite heavily, but I want to know, like, is that right? Like, am I doing the right thing? And without truly testing blood work, you don't really know what's happening on the inside. So I have experimented a lot. Australia's a bit limited of what you can do here, and I have been fortunate enough to get over to LA and Japan. Like, you can get a few things tested there. So I have had a lot done. Done all sorts of gut permeability testing. I've done microbiome testing. I've done all sorts of blood work, just heavy panels. I've done food allergy tests and worked out that I was slightly allergic to Brazil nuts and pumpkin and things like that. And I could eat Brazil nuts all day and not really feel any issue. But until I actually saw the paperwork and it said, well, these are actually inflammatory for you, maybe you should cut them out. I have. Like, you might not notice immediate differences, but the fact that that's the science. Like, I've now reduced it. No big loss. There's other ways to get the benefits from eating Brazil nuts. But now I know. Same with the blood work. That's how I found out about mercury. That's how I found about what levels my testosterone were. I now know my magnesium level's actually really quite good. There's other things which are difficult to test and see clear results from, but generally everything's pretty good. So, I try to get tested as regularly as I can. As I mentioned, Australia is difficult. Like, ideally, get tested every 3 months, because every 3 months your blood resets. But Australia is tough, so it has been a little bit longer for me. So it's something that I'm looking into now, is what opportunities are there to get into this biomarker blood testing industry, because it's not really like available here at the moment.
There's nothing available at the moment.
There are things around, but it's hard. Like, it's hard to get done. They're hidden away. They're not marketed well. General GPs and doctors don't like to do it. But there are a few things around.
My GP didn't. I actually quizzed my GP about this since our chats. I was like, right, what can I do? Yeah. What's out there? And she's like, there's actually not much. Yeah. There's nothing. She's very in tune with human optimization and things, and she loves reading. And yeah, she's like, we can do your basic blood work, but we're just getting, really, in terms of optimizing our health and performance, not much. We're just getting the survival stuff, not really the thrival stuff.
Typical of Australia. Yeah.
So what do Aussies do? What do we do?
People don't do anything. They just get on with their day. They just ignore it.
We're busy being fat and lazy. That's
not necessarily that. I just think they haven't had the conversation yet or been educated that some of this stuff is important. Look, it's not the be-all, end-all, but it is something to question. Like, a lot of people feel like they do suffer from energy issues and they could improve that. B12 is a big thing which could help improve energy. There's all sorts of other things in the diet which could help improve energy. And you never quite know what you're doing right. Obviously, eating greens and vegetables and things in Western society is a little bit limited. People don't like to do it as much. Blood work will kind of show you the truth on that, if you're eating enough or if you're not. So I do believe like blood work's a good way to go about things.
I also believe blood work's a good way to go about things.
It's not like people are not really interested in it, they just aren't quite aware. As you start chatting to people, as I talk to people in the gym, I can tell people, like, have you looked at this? How do you feel about doing this type of blood work? Everyone's really intrigued. Everyone's really interested. And it is something that they would do if it was readily available and it was affordable. The price can be a little bit tricky. Like, it can be expensive to get done. So
I think we would all do it.
Yeah.
Your average well-trained Australian that's investing time and energy into their health and wellness, they'd be keen.
I think there's a big market for this type of thing.
I think so too. How much is it costing in the States?
Depends what tests you get done. If you do a bit more of a simple panel, you'd spend $100 and you get 10 things tested. If you do the huge big panels that I've done, you're talking $1,200-$1,500 to get tested. But those are once every 5-year type of tests. Like the simple ones that you'd be doing would only be a couple $100. The issue we do have is the US has a different medical system. Like the way their insurance companies work to our Medicare and stuff is a little bit different. So it'd be hard to tie in with that. But it's something that I'd like to explore personally.
I'm just going to sit tight, eat my popcorn, wait for you to explore it, and then you tell me when we're ready, man.
That's it. We'll get onto it.
Yeah, I'll get onto it. What else you got in your bag?
Something... I've got my Katsu Band. You've seen me wear this in the gym a little bit. So Katsu is the blood flow restriction.
Yep.
So this isn't just your regular tourniquet or compression straps. This is a bit more high tech.
It's called a Katsu Band? I didn't know
Band.
that's what it was called. I just thought it was a plain old BFR, but
No.
Katsu Band. Sounds
Katsu
Japanese,
Band.
bro.
It is Japanese. Katsu. And it's got this little device here and hoses connected to it. And then you've got arm straps over here as well. So the arms go quite high up on basically under your armpit, and you switch the device on and you can set an exact pressure to slow down that blood flow. So you can slow down blood flow, the blood will pool into the muscles, and you'll get a little bit more lactic acid buildup in the muscle. So you actually start getting a message to the brain saying, we're working really quite hard here, and muscles actually think that they are, and you'll probably get a bigger workout than you'd expect. So you can actually start doing hotel workouts. You can do light weights, body weights, and it'll feel like you're doing something really quite heavy. So I'm not too sure if you tried this on before, but it is quite interesting. Like you'll start getting...
I think I've had it on...
You had it on
Once with you, once before that with another mate of mine, Chris, who's a physiotherapist. He loves these things.
I'm a big fan.
He had it around my quad, and it was a bit of work. Should we have a bit of fun with it?
You're welcome to put it on.
Let's get one of the boys. Hey, they're panicking. They're like, oi.
One of the guys wants to have a go.
Who's up? Yeah, no, I think we just rope it. I think none of the guys wants to have a go, but we'll rope them in. Should we get the boss man? Oh, no. Everyone's like, yeah. Well, this will get your arms huge, bro. All right, who's up? Anyone? Yeah, let's go, Jojo.
So this goes on your right arm.
Man,
So
I like
it goes quite high up.
I love the taste of this one, Sam.
It is
I
pretty
like that
delicious.
smoky flavor. Yeah, smoky taste.
And you put that one on the left arm. Pretty similar.
Yeah.
All right, so you can switch this on.
What do we need? Do you want a dumbbell?
No, you can just do some regular body weight curls.
Thanks, Jojo.
If you start feeling too uncomfortable, just let me know. I'll switch it off. But so just puts pressure into the bands and will slow blood flow in one direction.
That's fascinating. We can see it straight away.
So you'll start getting kind of a bit more vascular there.
Yeah, instant vascularity.
So it's on at the moment. Yeah. So it's on.
Do that before
and you can start doing some like curls with your arms. You can start kind of pumping. You can see the veins like getting...
Straight away, right?
Yeah.
Grip real hard, Joe. Huh.
So in a second, it will cut off pressure because this is on cycle mode. So this is originally designed for more elderly. So you can actually put it on someone a bit older, and as they're walking around the kitchen, doing dishes, things like that, like this will be cycling on and off. So you're actually getting muscle building kind of efficiency from just wandering around. You can put it on your legs as well. So it's something I'd like to get onto my dad. My dad's a little bit older, and
Bro, you looking jacked. Bruce Lee in the building.
how are those veins popping out?
Yeah, hard.
So you can it's back on again. So it's come back on. So it's on, like the pressure will keep increasing. And so you do some more curls. You can do anything. You can do overhead presses, bench presses, like push-ups, everything. But just for this experiment, we'll just do some curls here.
Yeah,
how's it feel?
Straight bicep curl.
You'll start getting
I feel like a difference, definitely.
Yeah.
You can feel the difference?
Yeah, 100%.
Like you just kind of burns.
Do you want to lift the table, bro? What do you want to flip?
So you'll feel like a solid burn in the muscle. Like you actually feel like you're really doing something, even though he's not moving like actual weights.
Question.
Yep.
What's the benefits of this?
It's as though you are moving weights, but you're not.
It's as though you're moving weights, but you're not.
Yeah.
Legit?
So if you don't have access to a full
This
gym
looks
because you're stuck in a
cool.
hotel because of quarantine,
Yeah.
or if you're wanting
the
to just like
office.
back off,
Bro, you've hit beast mode. Bro,
if you wanted to back off with weight because you're not wanting to do a full heavy bench
yeah,
press,
like
you could
recovery day or
Yeah.
like a light day.
No, you could just do 20% of your regular and it'll feel like 100% of your regular with this on. So you're getting benefits still.
Yeah, one of our friends who's an exercise physiologist, her name is Zenia. She uses this a lot in rehab.
Yeah.
I know she's helping a bodybuilder and that's injured, but she's preserving muscle mass, probably increasing muscle mass. I don't know.
It does, absolutely does.
Zen uses it all the time.
Yeah.
I think the athlete that she helps, her back might be compromised, back injuries. So she, instead of loading her up with heavy ass weights, Joe's like,
had
get
enough
this
there?
off me, bro.
That's enough.
All right, switching off.
Katsu.
Katsu. So it is Japanese, designed by a Japanese doctor. I think it was initially designed for elderly as like a rehab tool. And
Joe, don't run away,
bodybuilders
man.
can
Have
use
some rakia.
Back it up with some rakia.
Who else wants rakia, boys? Yeah. No, you good? Michael?
He's on good behaviour.
What's going on?
I think your bottle's closing off.
Yeah. There you go, bro. Thank you so much, Joe.
So yeah, it can be hard to tie that in with regular training because if you are trying to hit heavy
Let's do
benches,
it. Cheers, boys. Let's go, Ryan. Cheers.
Whole wedding ceremony.
Oh, get out of here. Cheers, brother.
cheers.
Cheers.
I think some rakia ended up in my tequila.
Oh, no.
First time rocky.
So yeah, that's the blood flow restriction, which I just tie in a little bit every now and then in the gym, just for fun, just to experiment with.
Yeah.
I would like to give it a full cycle of, rather than just trying to push my bench press to my max weights, just to go lightweight and just do a full month of just blood flow restriction, just to see how it plays out.
It'd be fascinating, man. The only space I've seen it in, because I come from a clinical rehab world, is that physio and exercise physiology world. But it'd be fascinating in a healthy athlete to see what it does for performance and.
I've done hill sprints and things on it. Put your legs on, and just you can detether or detach.
Have you put Have you put the katsu around your calves? What's the story?
So it goes quite high up, like next to your groin, and the whole leg will benefit from it.
Okay.
So it is probably my next tactic to get these calves growing even bigger.
Just straight calf.
Soon it'll just be like calves walking around. You won't even see the rest of it.
My calf's cramping just thinking about it, man. I've seen you hitting those hundreds of...
450 reps.
Sam is not kidding right now. Sam hit 450 reps on a weekly.
Yeah.
For the last how many weeks?
It's been about 6 weeks now.
6 weeks.
Yeah, 450 reps on a Monday and about 150 reps on a Thursday. It's a struggle to walk, to be honest. It's like,
straight calf.
They've grown. They've definitely gotten bigger.
I know, man. You're measuring them. We're not messing about here. This is serious. Sam's calves are growing. You guys can't see this, but they're popping out of his pants. The thing that I always think about is one of my all-time favorite TV shows, Entourage.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have. I had thought about getting some implants, but
Johnny Drama in Entourage is always like, "Hey, what do you do for them calves?"
I remember that episode.
Yeah, it's like, and they're like, "Man, it's just implants. You go get them, implants." It's like, "What do you mean implants? I'm out here busting my calves."
Yeah, considered it, but might skip that one. Stick to the 450 reps and Katsu Band.
That's way more fun. What's the benefit of Katsu versus like your run-of-the-mill BFR? Because I've never heard of Katsu. But
These start getting up in price as well. So
Okay.
these you're talking about $1,000 for this actual device, but it is a lot safer. Studies have shown the thickness of the band, so you don't want huge, massive, thick ones because it'll cut off too much.
Okay.
You want the right kind of thickness that way, and you need the right pressure as well. So you can really fine-tune the pressure of this one. You can cycle on and off as well. This one isn't creating complete occlusion to the muscle, which I think can start getting dangerous. You can start having big issues if you're lifting too much weight and there is complete occlusion. Like, you'd have to do your research as well. A little while since I have looked this up, but this is a much safer option, and it does have that cycle version as well. So you can put it on, it will cycle on and off on a timed pattern, so it will allow the blood to flow back in completely, and then it'll slow it down a little bit as well. So just overall, from what I gather, it's a lot safer than most. There are different kinds out there though, and you'll see some of the really old school bodybuilders that really start playing around ages ago before this stuff wasn't like really invented, and it can lead to disastrous effects if you're not careful.
Now that you mention it, sorry, back in the day, that was the first I've ever seen it. Old school body. I used to work in a commercial gym that was like, at the time, it was the best bodybuilding gym in Brisbane because it was super well equipped. It had like every machine under the sun. And back in the day, they used to roll in with like what looked like, what would you call it? Like
bicycle tire or something?
Actually, there was like tubes that looked like bicycle tires. But I think that then they got more sophisticated. It looked like when you go to the blood lab to get your blood done, like the little Velcro strap that you tighten up, and then they would do some things.
You'd have to do some.
I was a young personal trainer at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
like
is a lot safer. Like, it's really well done. It's the right kind of balance of everything. So
can you build muscle on it?
You can build muscle. That's the whole idea, is to build muscle. Like, it's even for the elderly, as it is wandering around, they're getting benefits and preventing their muscle from wasting away by having the leg straps on. Like, you can improve that. So as I said, it's something I really want to put on my dad. My dad's 76 at the moment, and he's a little bit kind of couch bound. He doesn't get up much. And it's something I'm concerned of, is muscle wastage. So if I could just like slap this on him, I would need to speak to his doctor, because if he starts having blood pressure issues, like, you really have to be careful. But this is what it's designed for. Like, it's for people that can't get into gym, lift weights, but also like, if it does help those people, like, what can it do for people that can? So if I ever do break a limb, an arm or a leg, I'll be slapping that on, and I'll be having it just work the muscle whilst I sit there recovering.
Well, where my mind's going is I'm definitely going to get one and play around with it. I've decided that I'm going to get everything, including the tequila. But in all seriousness, I'd love to play around with it for my operated ACL leg, because I've definitely got muscular imbalances between my left and right leg as a consequence of being a badass football player and blowing my ACL. But it's definitely not at 100%.
What are you doing for that ACL? Are you getting into supple leopard and digging through that?
I was.
You were?
Since you gifted the book and borrowed me your book. And I was doing a lot, but not as much right now. I have a lot of unilateral drills as a part of my training program. That's it. I've gone heavy in the powerlifting world. Not heavy. I'm still an absolute rookie and novice, but I'm creeping. So I do small things that I play around with. But that would be cool, because I could just slap that on and just go, okay, like, let's see what happens to my right BMO, my right BL, the right side of my body.
Yeah, no, it's a good recovery tool, so you should play around with it.
Yeah, I think my physio friend, I could be butchering this, but I think that spoke to his iPad, or maybe that was a different device.
It depends which one you have.
Yeah, maybe that was a different tool that he had.
Other things in the bag. It's my daily carries, to be honest.
Bro, you're like a magician. You're optimizing.
I've got a full bag of stuff that I carry around.
Performance magic.
I'm meant to be like traveling around lightly, and I've got like never-ending things in this bag. I've got an ab roller, which I don't really go anywhere without if I need to do some ab maneuvers.
An ab roller?
Just your typical kind of goes everywhere. Got to throw that in the bag. So I need to drop down and do some ab rolls. I
Yeah.
think that's an essential tool.
Why do you like ab rolls? For real?
It's just a good skill.
They're all
You know,
they're
make
all
one
scared. Our whole media team's scared. They think we're getting them out for this.
You can tie this one with the Katsu Band. Like it'll help improve. Like even if it's on your arms or your legs, you can actually put it on both.
I think this one's got Callum written all over it. Callum's like, no, bro.
So yeah, that's the ab roller. It kind of hangs around.
Hits the abs different.
Hits the
Yeah,
abs.
like your whole abdomen is on fire.
I think people in the gym have seen me wear this
Yeah.
at all times. I've never been a fan of actual weight belts. Like I completely disagree with the concept of having like a bodybuilding like weight belt encouraging you to switch your core on. So that's not what this is. This is for doing dips and pull-ups, chin-ups. Like you can put that around your waist. You can clip on whatever amount of weight you want to do, and it will help improve your pull-ups and push-ups.
Because you can increase load, right?
Yeah.
One of the tools in the toolkit is definitely increased load. Because if you're just doing bodyweight chin-ups all the time or bodyweight dips, you're going to hit a plateau.
Eventually.
At some point.
And no one wants to really do more than just 10, 15 chin-ups or pull-ups.
Yeah.
So you start putting on some weight, you'll improve kind of the efficiency of that. You'll start getting stronger, you'll build more muscle, you'll get faster when you're doing like unweighted. So I think that's what's helped me to achieve muscle-ups a bit easier is the weighted chin-ups and pull-ups. So, I'd never go anywhere
I've seen
without
you
that.
do muscle-ups. Just quickly, whilst we're on the topic, what's your beef with bodybuilding belts? Is this? Do you mean for purposes of like bodybuilding? Is that when bodybuilding bros that just have belts around for no reason, or in general belts?
In general, to be honest, for no reason annoys me.
I like it.
Why are you doing curls and you've got a bodybuilding
Okay.
a
I'm
belt
with
on?
you.
That
I'm
bothers
with
me. But also, I feel like you shouldn't be wearing a belt unless you're going for absolute like past
PB,
PBs
balls to
or
wall.
anything like that, because you should be able to connect to those muscles mentally without having a belt cue that kind of movement.
Okay.
Like if you're doing a squat, like I want to be able to switch on, like breathe correctly, switch on the right location of the muscles, get that core happening. Like I want that to happen naturally. If I only have a belt on, like that's only going to happen when the belt is on. So when you're doing light weights without the belt, well, you're going to be a bit lazy and you're not going to switch that core on as much. One of the biggest times strong people injure themselves is when they're picking up a pillow off the ground. Because it's such a light weight, they just like twist their spine, they grab a pillow.
Shit, didn't have my
and
belt on.
They didn't have their belt on. And like, how's that work? It's like most people injure themselves picking up a pillow. So if you learn to brace your core every time you get into a squat position, because that squat position is not just picking up weights, it's picking up something from the floor. It's whether it's picking up a pillow, this bag, whether you're picking up your child off the floor or your dog or your cat or whatever. Like if you're got poor movement patterns and you're just twisting and not switching on because you don't have the belt on, you're going to get injured no matter how heavy that load is. So in the gym, it's not just training for the gym, but it's also training for life as well. And back to my spine, like, because I do have a spine injury, if I'm not conscious about switching core on and bracing, no matter how heavy the load is, whether it is that pillow or the 120 kilos I'm hoping to lift next week, like it's not going to, like, it could result in an injury. So I want to be subconsciously switching on. Like I don't want to have to just think about it. I want to always be ready under any circumstance. So that's my beef with belts. Belts work if I'm going for like a huge weight and I really have to like make sure nothing's slack, full tension, pushing it, then that's great. But any other time, like I should be just naturally switching on. That's my opinion. Man,
I appreciate your opinion a lot. I haven't given it that level of thought yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about it.
In saying that, like,
I wish Arif was still here upstairs. I'd be like, yo, let's mic him up, see what he's because he loves belt.
He does.
But I know he's a man that would heavily think about, the contra argument.
Yep.
But so we'll quiz him.
Look,
next week.
there is the argument that you probably do switch on even more because you do have even more conscious kind of awareness of what to switch on because you do have that belt sitting in that exact location. So overall, like I
Yeah.
think it's kind of safer to not. So it's kind of like straps. Like he was telling, like Arif says, don't use straps, and I believe don't use straps as well. But sometimes, like you have to because the weight's going to slip.
Yes.
And are you training a deadlift for grip strength, or are you training it for all the benefits of doing a deadlift?
Fascinating thought.
So that's kind of a question you got to ask. Because at some point, like your grip is going to give up. Well, then do you stop progressing with your deadlift or not?
And I see your point with the belt. Like, shouldn't after a certain period of time, shouldn't you just be able to like trust and know that it's going to kick in unless you're going for ultra PB?
Yeah.
But
So
then I see Ara's point because there's like performance based for competition, and in competition it's specificity, and you're going to have one on. So why not have one in the gym? So it's fascinating. I haven't given it that depth.
there is a time and place for it, and
Yeah.
as you're hitting competition, like absolutely there is that place for it, and you do have to train with it occasionally as well, so that you know, look, I've got a belt on, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like switch on, but in
But
general,
then
for
should
most
we
people,
have it in the gym? Like in general, this is fascinating.
So for me, I probably will never wear one in the gym. Like I don't really have much reason. Like as I said before, like for me, like I'm going to do a 120 kilo squat next week, and for me that's a PB. Like that's a big thing for me. But I still don't feel like I need to wear a belt, even with my past like spine issues. Like I won't need to wear it. Like I'm just well trained. I'm so conscious of like switching on because I've been doing that for a while now. Like it's going to turn on for me. Like it'll make sure it's on. And when I do leave and I go to go pick up anything else, like that same subconscious kind of motor memory, like the automation there, like it's going to switch on as well. And that's what I need, because that's when people get injured. People don't get injured in the gym, they get injured outside.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing, is that.
Couldn't agree with you more, man. We get injured outside of the gym every time. Crazy light bulb moment went off. You're hitting your PB next week in squats.
Yes, so Tuesday I actually hit a PB as well, so that was 117.5. Thank you. And then next Monday will be another PB in squats. 120 is a big one for me.
Hell yeah.
I do have the goal of 129. I've looked up like the average strength for people of my age and experience and weight and everything, and 129 for one rep. But at this point in time, I'm doing 120, so I'm pretty happy. Like I'm inching towards it.
Heck yeah, man.
The deadlift's the big one. That's what I want to go for. Like I want 200, which sometimes it feels really close. Sometimes it really feels really far, but it's there. So.
It's coming. My light bulb moment was you hit a PB this week.
Yep.
I hit a PB
Nice.
this week. You're hitting a PB next week. I'm hitting a PB next week.
Week for week.
Hell yeah, man. Just as well that we're day drinking this tequila so we can get our recovery on and be ready for next week.
Problem with hitting PBs all the time is it doesn't necessarily support our fat loss goals. Because to be eating for
True.
PBs, you generally should be eating a bit more.
We're getting these calories in. We're going to have a big meal after this for sure.
So for me,
And yeah, go on. Sorry.
I've been increasing calories to support the strength goal, but also I think that I've been under eating in general anyway. So my fat loss goal isn't working that well. But
Can I have a quick look at that bottle?
yeah.
Arete.
So I've never had this one before, and I do apologize.
100%
It's probably not going to be as smooth as good as the other ones.
Nah,
but
don't apologize, brother. It's all good. It's hard. This one.
that was lovely.
Yeah, it tasted
It is
real
nice.
nice, man. I'm a fan of that smoky
So
taste.
it's a little bit closer to like a mezcal or something.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Smells like that club
Smells
tequila,
like tequila.
that I know, bro.
Probably should have had some lemon or lime with that one. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
this is the taste I'm used to. Yeah.
That was just a quick
But-
one I
but
bought the other day.
A lot better than still probably. What do you call it? Mezcal. What do they
Mezcal.
call it? Mezcal.
Mezcal's
yeah.
delicious. There's some amazing mezcals out there.
Okay.
There's another one called Sotol, which not many people know about. It's also from Mexico. It's a different plant, a different method of kind of brewing it. Sotol can be amazing. Can be a bit more smoky as well. So different forms of different agave and other plants can make very different tasting tequilas, mezcals, sotols, etc.
Do you reckon that's a horse or a donkey?
It's a horse.
It's a horse. 100% Diagüe.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's not too bad. Probably a bit more suited for a good margarita or something. I'm a big fan of margaritas.
It's not too bad at all. It's You like margaritas?
I can make quite a few cocktails. Always been a big cocktail fan. So. Margaritas are always good to make. Vary them up. I usually infuse tequila with jalapenos and other chilies and make some good cocktails. Well, we're meant to be talking about health today.
Yeah, wait a minute. What else you got in your bag of goodies,
In the bag.
bro? The magic bag.
Got my EAAs. I never go anywhere without my EAAs.
EAAs, not BCAs?
Not BCAs.
EAAs.
EAAs have BCAAs in them. So the standard 3, the leucine, isoleucine, and valine, are in EAAs, but these are your 9 essential amino acids. Like all of them are in here. Why take just 3 when you can take all 9? So there's huge benefits of taking all of them. And we don't quite get enough from food. We don't quite hit enough protein goals. Carry this everywhere. Like I consume this every single workout. I'll have this in water and salt.
During?
Every single. This
Wow,
is my
okay.
intro
This and
workout.
salt.
So there's probably not been a workout for about 4 or 5 years that I've not consumed EAAs whilst I've worked out. Like not one single one. So I swear by EAAs. If there was only one supplement I could ever take again, it would be my EAAs.
Get out of here.
So-
EAAs over magnesium, over vitamin D.
Absolutely.
What?
Vitamin D you get from the sun. Magnesium, yeah, we are limited with food, but that's my second one. Magnesium's my second one.
Where do you get this from? Oh, Canada?
ATP Labs from Canada.
ADB Labs.
That's in my bag. And
What's that?
That's mag. So there's different forms of
Oh,
magnesium.
magnesium?
So there's the 2 that I'll carry absolutely everywhere. If it was only one, it would be the EAAs. I'll ditch the mag, but I will happily have both. So that will have post-workout, just to restore some of that.
For our community listening, do you order this stuff online? Or where can you get it in shops?
This particular brand, or in
Or
general?
just in general? Or
You
do
can
you
get
rate this
magnesium.
particular brand over others?
I do have a special account with this brand,
Okay.
which I earned through a bit of a long story. But I do have like a special wholesale account through them.
Okay.
But EAAs, you can get in different brands. They are a little bit hard to find in Australia. Magnesium you can definitely find. So you got to find a good, pure, really good quality magnesium. They are around, like Bioceuticals and a few other ones is really nice as well. But I do swear by EAAs.
Okay.
There's a lot of studies out there. A lot of the top performers also believe in EAAs.
EAA.
They're a bit underrated,
Yeah, okay.
but essential amino acids.
Man,
Essential.
I thought, like, I haven't heard much about EAAs.
Give them to a
at
few
all.
friends now, and
Yeah.
they've noticed massive differences immediately. Like a lot of people are now onto them, like that know me and that know that that's the only thing that I will take. That for me is essential, and it's essential amino acids, says it in the name.
Before chatting with you, I never knew about EAs. I knew about BCAAs, normal protein. But, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That-
I'll experiment.
I'll get one for you. I'm about to do an order, about to get a few in, so
Yeah,
I'll
right.
get you one.
Yes, please. Thanks, man. EAs, magnesium. I'm all over magnesium. But benefits, is it all the same? Or
There's different forms. There's all sorts of different forms, do different things,
Okay.
whether it's muscle recovery, whether it helps us sleep, whether it helps with
Cinnamag.
toilet time, whether it helps with all sorts of different things. Like there's lots of different forms that will do different things. So just find the right one, which you think you need with. Generally, I would start with sleep. Like everyone can improve sleep. Back to our earlier conversation, sleep is so important, and magnesium can definitely help. So definitely worth experimenting with some magnesium. Take it a bit before bed, see how it goes. If you're too deficient, it will actually make you sleep worse. So you need to take a little bit earlier in the day. But
If you're too deficient, it'll make you sleep worse?
yeah, it can do.
man.
So it can actually like energize you to a little extent. So if that's the case, then I believe you need to take it like earlier in the day, and as you start getting your levels up, then you can start shifting it within 30 minutes of bed. So for me, I take a huge amount, 30 minutes before bed, and it will help with sleep.
Okay.
So those two things are pretty much will go nowhere without. Well, fish oil is another big one, but those two are my most important things.
Out of all the supplements that you've had in the past, what do you, and vitamins, what are you still taking right now? So EAAs, magnesium.
Because I'm trying to increase my calories at the moment, and I'm experimenting with high carb because I have been keto for a long time and I've been way too low for my actual body weight in calories. I've decided to experiment with high carb, so I am taking a carb supplement post-workout with some whey. So there's my kind of pre and intra is just EAAs and salt. I'll take glutamine as well, because glutamine can do all sorts of different things. Glutamine/glycine, it's in the same complex. Post will have my whey and carbs, and throughout the day I'll probably will take kind of liver capsules, because I'm transitioning out of a multivitamin. I just don't think you're getting enough out of it, whereas you start taking organ meats and liver, which I used to consume a lot of in Asia because it's like readily available. You just go to any restaurant, you can order delicious liver. It's not accessible in Australia, so I just buy liver pills or organ meat capsules, which will get the same effect. I'll occasionally take vitamin C and fish oil. So pretty much just narrowed it down to those. I do take an enzyme as well. Quite often the food that you do consume, you're not breaking down and getting as many nutrients out of that you can. So if you take an enzyme, you can start absorbing it better. So that's something I take with every meal. Everything I consume will be an enzyme. Kind of narrowed it down to that. So I used to take a lot. I used to experiment so much with things. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, astragalus. I still occasionally take lion's mane. I'll take reishi, all sorts of different kind of adaptogen mushrooms. Used to take BCAAs, creatine, pre-workouts, just huge, long lists of stuff. And it was just too much. Like, it would stress me out. Like, if I was going out for the entire day, and then I'll go to my like vitamin or my drug cabinet, I would have to like look at what am I going to take for the day, and I'd have individual little packages, and I'd stuff each little capsule in for each meal, each timing, and it would just weigh me down too much. Like the stress of like, have I got everything right? Was just too much, and a lot of it just isn't necessary. It's kind of fun to experiment with for a little bit, but it's not all necessary. So I've kind of really narrowed it down at the moment. I've de-stressed, deloaded. Let's take a few things that I think are really essential. So basically those two, and fish oil is like I never go anywhere without. What about you? You taking anything?
Vitamin D, zinc, and quercetin.
Okay.
Purely from an immune booster. Some research that I did about nowhere near. So yours sounds very performance based. I've just come in at it, and it is absolutely. I'm going to experiment with this guy and this guy.
Yep.
Fish oil I used to take a lot of after my ACL.
Yep.
I found it helped, but I've gotten lazy with it. Vitamin D, I load up on.
Yep.
The standard recommendation I think is, I don't know what, between 1,000 and 2,000.
Depends what you read.
Yeah, I load up on like 4,000 or 5,000. Zinc and quercetin. I used to be zinc deficient, and then recently when I researched it, I found that it helps immune system a lot. So all things COVID and all things preventing cold and flu.
Yep.
Those three.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I used to take a lot of those. I backed off because I tried to get them naturally from sunlight or from oysters and stuff like that, which I do love.
Oysters?
Oysters are massive in zinc, huge amounts of zinc. So if I try and have oysters regularly or things like that, you'll get my zinc intake. It like blows a capsule out of the water, literally.
Wow, okay.
So yeah, those will. But yeah, I try to get some sunlight.
Okay.
But I have to be careful though. Both parents have had melanomas, so I do have to be careful about getting sunlight. But if I just get enough, especially on the abdomen region where you really absorb a lot more, sunlight's important for vitamin D. But
on the abdomen region?
Yeah, you start absorbing a lot more through there. So it kind of hits gut and microbiome, and like abdomen's very important for hitting vitamin D. Target that area. But yeah, I've experimented with huge amounts. I've had a massive depository of stuff, and there's too many. So, especially when you move out of Australia, like if you live in other countries, you see how accessible it is for things to get delivered to you from all over the world. Like it's really easy to get all sorts of stuff. Just experiment, see what does what, and see what happens. But
when I first got the Whoop, I went all in on sleep supplements. I started having all sorts of things, and then when I hit the research a little bit further, I realized that it was like a little bit too much.
All of it is good. Like everything does something that helps. The problem with doing it all at once is you don't know what works for you, and not all of it works for everyone. So if you are going to start experimenting with stuff, is like you're kind of got to do one thing at a time and introduce it kind of slowly. So like, as I said earlier, like I found the supplement that was actually interrupting my sleep was glutamine, which is a very beneficial supplement. Like it's so important to take it, and it does so many like really good things. Like that is something that I also really like. I try to take as much as I can. If I consumed a whole lot of that and I added in a bunch of zinc and magnesium and then melatonin and like what's working, what's actually like having an effect on me, you don't really know. Like I'm guilty of this. Like I want to see everything work. It's like I want to see my cards grow. Like if I'm going to do 450 reps, but what happens if I slap this like Katsu Band on as well? So which one of those actually worked? Was it the 450 reps or was it the Katsu or was it both? It's like, you don't quite know. So you kind of do have to have patience and implement little things at a time and like work off that. It's like if you do it all at once, you'll never know what works for me. And I've spent countless dollars and like consumed so many supplements that I have no idea what's done what and what really works until I've like backed off, cut everything out, and then slowly introduced each one to see what's actually happening. So I think a lot of that can be applied to a lot of areas in life, with training and health and recovery. Is like have some patience, take your time with things, and you'll get somewhere.
What else you got?
It's a never-ending bag, man. Like Mary Poppins over here. I got my hat.
Bro, we're going to be here till midnight.
I got my hat here.
Tell me the story behind the hat.
Just gotta
It
wear my
gives you
hat.
extra
Gives me
testosterone,
extra
extra
strength.
muscle, extra calf gains. Hack to the back.
So the main benefit from being at ZAR is that I've developed like beautiful, luscious long hair. It's like, and unless I wear this hat, like it falls in my face and I can't see what I'm doing. So this could be the make or break of a PB. So I'll put my hat on. So
I mean, I've seen it fly around and bench press a couple of times here and
Occasionally.
there. It floats around. But sometimes you go samurai mode. I know you
I
do
occasionally.
You do the top button with the
Top knot.
top
Got my
knot.
tripod. So as we said earlier, I
Hey.
do some personal filming just to make sure movements are in form. So tripod's in the bag.
Bro, that is a badass looking tripod.
Got some grippers in here.
Hell
Old school.
yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of like Charles Poliquin. Like Charles Poliquin, Pavel Tsatsouline, all in the grip strength. Like grip strength is so important. It's like generally that's my make or break in a deadlift. It's like if the bar is slipping or not. And so if you can improve grip strength, you just win. Helps with which one's that one? That's the one. So
Oh,
he's
they
actually
are they
fairly low
different?
level. That's trainer. Like that's a basic trainer. And that's one. That's level 1.
What do you mean? So this one's tougher.
It's a little bit tougher. Like this one's like super easy. So you need to have
Bruce
them
Lee.
touch.
Bruce Lee
So
thing.
you hold them. They
Like
have to
on
like
the road bit.
have to like touch in here.
Oh, they got a
So you
click?
gotta click.
Give me more tequila. Give me that tequila strength.
So that's a 1. I've got a
Yes.
I've got a 1.
Yeah, you're close. You can see what's going on.
It's actually surprisingly hard. The 1.
Jesus.
I've got a 1.5 and I can't close that.
Actually.
Yeah.
Such a big discrepancy between left and right. Do you have a big discrepancy between left?
Yeah, I think my left's a bit weaker. But we've had this discussion about it. My left arm is bigger than my right arm. My left chest is bigger, but then like that is my left hand, which is my weaker hand. My right is more dominant, which is therefore the hand stronger. So show us.
My left arm's also bigger. Oh, take this off
Grip
camera.
strength.
Cut this. Blur this.
You got the grip strengths. So I've got 3 different versions of these. This is the 1, which is a bit tougher. The 1.5's in there. So the trainer's in there. So if you did the trainer, the 1.5 was a failure. You got to do the opposite as well. So I got this bag of like rubber bands in here.
Ah.
So you do
okay.
the opposite. So you get these, put these on, and you're doing the opposite of the grip. So you're pushing the other way.
Iron mind.
I mind. Do you want me to give you the white one, the
This
trainer
is
version
sick.
here?
No, don't hit me with the trainer. Give me the toughest, most badass.
So you can alternate between the two. So you're doing like regular grips, and then you're doing like the extensions out.
And I could see this being super beneficial for
So forearms get smashed.
Yeah.
Like all of this will help with deadlift. That's the thing. Like you should be crushing that bar when you're doing a deadlift, and you should be able to close that. I think there's been, I'm not too sure what the highest level is in these iron mine grips. They go up to like 4 or 5 perhaps. Like you're doing very well if you can close at 2.
Okay.
So there's not many people that close much more than that, 2 or
Wow.
3 I think. So got grips.
This would be super beneficial for people with wrist injuries and
Perhaps
fractures.
some
What's that? Liquid chalk?
liquid chalk.
Okay.
So when you're in like sketchy gyms and you're picking up shitty bars,
Commercial gyms.
I need some good chalk. Some liquid chalk. More drugs.
Hell yeah.
Never ending drugs. This one's Kick, same company. This one's got a mix of tyrosine, theanine, caffeine, vitamin B6. So this is like a natural pre-workout.
Natural pre-workout.
It's pretty similar to having a coffee or a couple of coffees.
How long you been having this one?
A couple of years. Very occasionally. I'll only have it once out of every 10 workouts if I just feel like I need a bit of extra drive and push. I've got some headphones, some bands, which you got in the gym, and a towel, and that's kind of what I got going on at the moment.
I didn't think it would end.
I
But,
think that's about all I
Super.
carry. Table's full.
Sam's goodies.
Table's full. My glass is not.
You ready for that rakia?
Think about the transition to rakia.
Bang!
That's 3 shots of tequila
Yeah.
and onto rakia.
What's your favourite one?
For me, it's all about this one. Like, this
I
one
knew you'd say that, bro.
is phenomenal. You're welcome to have another splash of that and see if you feel different.
Casa
Casa Dragonis
Dragonis.
is incredible tequila. Very different between the Class Azul. Notice you've had about 8 glasses of water. I've had half, so I better
Yeah,
catch up.
you're well trained in your tequila hobby, bro. Good pickup. I'll tell you a story. Bit more.
A bit more.
Sam up a bit more.
Let me
Tell you
measuring
your
these two.
your
Since
story.
you had less strength in the grip training, I'd expect you to have more rakia, to be honest.
Wait, give me that grip strength after rakia. Blows, breaking that too. I don't know how accurate this story is. This could be absolute rubbish. Hang on, before I tell
You've
you
not
the
had this
story.
one.
Slivovitz, bro. Slivovitz. What's the alcohol content of the tequila? Who knows?
Ranges between... I'm trying to think what it is now. That one's 38. No idea. That one's 40. Shouldn't be much more than 40, to be honest.
What do you got on that one? On the
Is it on your side?
yeah, 40. 40.
You shouldn't range much more than that.
Man, have a read of that one.
42.
Right, 42, bro.
You know, I've
Beat
had,
it.
like, I'm a massive absinthe fan as well. You're talking, like,
that's brutal.
80%
Yeah.
absinthe.
What's absinthe?
Absinthe is made of... Oh,
I've
I might
had
be
it.
butchering it. I don't know if it's
Bad.
more... No, it's not aniseed and things.
awful.
It's very herbal. I love it.
Oh, really?
Depends what you... If you just drink regular
What's-
absinthe,
Yeah.
it's also awful. Same with tequila and most things. But I used to live right next door to this amazing absinthe bar in Tokyo, a little like my suburbs called Ebisu, which is right next to Shibuya, which is near like the major crossing most people know. There's an incredible absinthe bar there.
Wow.
You've got hundreds of different absinthe. Comes from all sorts of different areas, different flavors. You can have the full drip where they pull out the entire kind of special, I don't know what they actually call it. It's like it's a decanting kind of device which has water in it, and absinthe is in the glass and water drips out through sugar into your glass
Wow.
on top of it, and delicious, absolutely delicious.
Wow.
But if you have cheap crappy absinthe,
That's
so
my
good.
problem, bro. Brisbane nightclubs.
That's it.
I think I've had it in some cocktails or some mixes. I look forward to having good absinthe with you in the future,
I
bro.
don't know how
I'll
you
try and
say, how do I
source
say
some.
cheers over top of,
It's old school sounding. Ready?
am I going to struggle here?
Jurletic.
Jurletic.
Yeah. It's like
Jurletic.
cheers. Jurletic. Jurletic, bro.
Actually a lot smoother than I thought.
Plum brandy. Yeah,
It's
a lot
plum
smoother
brandy.
than the Christmas party, hey?
Yep.
Yeah, I think this one tastes a lot better
I think
than...
this is better than Christmas party.
Yeah.
Christmas
Note-
party was a struggle, to be honest.
Note for self, I'll make sure we get this one in 2021, 2022 Christmas party.
Sounds good.
My story with the water, I don't know how accurate this is, but our hero, Jean-Claude Van Damme, with the splits and the Volvo trucks, the story goes, he would go out partying in Europe all the time, but he would do what he calls sports drinking. where he would have a whiskey and then a glass of water, whiskey, glass of water, and he'd be there till all sorts of hours in the morning, just straight drinking.
I completely agree.
So I do that all the time, because what does alcohol do? Dehydrates the system. So it's a habit of mine. You've caught on to it. I do that all the time, man. I'll have a glass, enjoy a glass of alcohol, and then have some water.
So before I came here, I knew we were going to be having a couple beverages. I had 4 capsules of that magnesium, so well and truly overdosed. I had some salts, like some proper pink Himalayan salt to get the most out of it. I had a vitamin C, basically a whole bunch of vitamin C. Had some NAC tapped on top of that. Had a bit of coconut water, and I think that was about it. So I've just punished that before coming in, which is going to prep me for all of this.
That's
But
fascinating.
yeah, you should be on the water. I did notice you were cheating with the water over there. I was trying to avoid it for the camera.
Come on, bro. Yeah, I'm going to look like a little bitch on camera with all this water I've been sipping.
To be honest, it's not the water, it's the grip strength. But I'm
Oh,
afraid
give
it's
me
too-
all those. Give me all those iron grips, bro. Hang on. Yeah, you've had a head start on the vitamins. All I've done is lifted some iron, bro. Moved some tin and had
Good shoulders, man.
an intermittent fasting session. Man, I want to use this opportunity to thank you for dropping in on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. We've been chatting about this for months now.
Yeah.
Getting me on to discuss my bag of goodies and all sorts of cool things or ridiculous things that I do. But pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, brother.
Cheers, man.
I look forward to doing this again and drinking more tequila. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.